Hi, welcome to Starting Today with Sherry. I'm Sherry, and right away we're going to get right into this video today. And the topic is budgeting. I'm going to be sharing the 6 reasons why I feel my husband and I are finally able to really be happy with our budgeting strategies and find success with money. Starting with the first reason. The first reason is teamwork. My husband and I just celebrated our 3-year anniversary. And one of the things, even before we got married, is that we talked about finances. So if you're a single person, I really suggest that you make sure that you take the time to understand how your partner is with finances, what their goals are, and whether or not you can work as a team. In both of our previous marriages, we kind of did things separately with our ex-spouses. In his marriage, he was the provider, and his ex-wife was a stay-at-home mom and took care of most of the finances. On the other end, I kind of also was in a similar position where I handled a lot of the finances and doing the budgeting and trying to focus on how to work with the finances that we had, also staying home part-time. So both of those strategies we realized didn't quite work for us. We really desired to have a team collaborative approach to our budgeting. So one of the first things that we did after we got married and we started to live together and have all of our finances together is to get a good understanding of how we are spending our money. And that is getting out all of the bills, all of the incomes, going through, putting this all down on paper. For us, we started a spreadsheet. And because we documented our spending, we really could understand what our budgeting needed to be to get started. Because sometimes you just don't know. Knowledge is powerful. If you understand where you're spending your money or where your money needs to be spent, you have a better idea and a calmness in your life. So you can understand whether or not it's okay to splurge every once in a while, or are you actually going in the right track when it comes to your retirement? So I really suggest the first thing is to work as a team. If one person is not involved, it makes it very difficult and the weight becomes overwhelming on one person's shoulder to try to figure all these things out. So working as a team is the number one thing that I think has helped us be successful. Number 2, the rest of these aren't necessarily in any specific order, but I think it's really important that we have fun money put into our budget. We want to make sure that nobody in our family feels like they are left out. So despite how much each of us make, we pool all of our money together, and it's not his money, my money, it's our money. And with that approach, we also want to make sure that we still feel like we have some power to have fun with some of the money. So we have set up our budget so a portion of the funds go into a fun money account, one for him and one for me. And that allows us to do really what we want with those funds. Some months that fund might be somewhat small, and some months we've had it be larger. I spend a little bit faster of my fun money than my husband. He likes to save up for bigger items that he likes to splurge on. So having that fun money really gives us the opportunity to know that we have a goal to work towards, because the fun money comes after bills, and we need to make sure that we have that extra money to be able to put into a little bit of a fun money account. Sometimes we've even decided that our fun money accounts have gotten to the point where we wanted to back off and put some of those funds towards retirement or savings of some other kind of thing. So we still have flexibility with that fund money, but we all know and we communicate about what our needs are, what our wants are, and always make sure that we have a little bit of money that we know we can spend, and nobody can judge us for that. Speaking of flexibility, our third category for why I think this is working for us is flexibility with the budget. I think that no matter what goals you're setting, sometimes we can get a little too rigid. And once we go off track a little bit, it all comes crumbling down. We throw up our hands and we give up. So having some flexibility in your budget, I think, is important. For us, we have all of our categories set up for our budget. And we know that in each of our categories, if we go under the amount, we roll that extra over to the next month. If we have a bigger bill that maybe happens once a year or once every 6 months, like car insurance, for example, we make sure that we budget that out for the year, for the 6 months, so that we're slowly building those funds. So when the bill comes, the money is already there and we don't have this really large bill at one point. And sometimes we've even found we've gone over a budget. And so we look at all of our funds and we ask ourselves, is there an area that we can move money from a particular area that's overfunded, maybe to that area that has gone over budget? We always make sure that we communicate with each other. We check in as we go throughout the month to see, ooh, we need to maybe hold back a little bit in this particular area, or are we okay with going a little over budget this month because we know we have some funds somewhere else? Luckily, we have never been in a situation where we will completely run out of money. In my past, I definitely knew what it was like to get done at the end of the month and have $10 in your bank account. And that is a more rigid situation. And if you're in that situation, you may not be able to have that kind of flexibility. But if you have the time to not just splurge when you have extra money at the end of the month, but keep it in those set categories, you kind of have a safeguard. We'll talk more about how we do our budgets in some future videos. Another way that we are successful, I think, with budgeting is that we utilize tools that we have to be able to track things easy. So for example, we don't hardly ever use cash. We do use a credit card. We do use a few store cards and our bank accounts. And with those things, we sit down, open up those apps or those things on our computer, and we can see where we have spent. So if we have purchased gas for our automobile, we know that it came from a particular place that we get points for, and that's always shows up. We know we put it in our budget for the fuel. For example, we also use like Target or Costco. Those receipts are saved under your account. And so if you don't know what in the world did I buy at Target for $50, you can go easily look on that and see, oh yes, that was the time that all the kids needed socks or whatever it may be. So using those apps and those tools help us track easier than if we just use cash. Now, I am from the Dave Ramsey background. I did go through Financial Peace, and I did get ingrained in me to not use credit cards. I have abandoned that idea because I'm in a situation now where I know I have a certain amount of money coming in. I know that the credit cards will be paid every month. I wasn't always in that position. In the past, cash stuffing envelopes did work better for me because I could not go over those budget limits. So if I was grocery shopping and I only had a set amount of money for groceries, I couldn't splurge. I couldn't go over it because I would withdraw overdraft on my account. So depending on your situation, you might have to be careful in avoiding those credit cards. For us, we do take advantage of any kind of points that are available for us, and we look at the different advantages that a credit card might bring. For example, on our credit card for our grocery store, for an entire year, we got extra points for buying fuel at that particular grocery store, and we saved typically 65 cents per gallon every time we filled up our cars, and that helped us a lot with our budgeting, and that was based on signing up for a particular credit card. So you have to be smart about it, but for us, that helps us track, that helps us keep on pace, and it gives us some rewards, and we always pay it. In fact, my husband's adamant about every time he gets paid twice a month, he pays the balance on the credit card twice a month, just to make sure we are never in a dangerous spot for that. The fifth reason why budgeting is working for us is because we make it rewarding and fun. Fun might be a stretch for some people, but my husband and I found out that we're both kind of nerds when it comes to money, and we enjoy the spreadsheets. My husband enjoys the spreadsheets so much that he has spent hours constructing and creating in Google Sheets his own system of budgeting, and I don't have any idea how he does it all because I'm not that educated in creating those types of spreadsheets, but he has created graphs and charts and formulas and all these things. He's got it all figured out and it works so smoothly. You don't have to have a complicated budget like that, but if you find it to be fun, go for it. It helps us have fun together as we are looking at our successes. And so we budget sometimes every couple days or a couple weeks, depending on how busy we are. We sit down, we go through our accounts, we enter them, we see where we're at. We hopefully are seeing positive things, especially when it comes to seeing if we have money in our fun account for each of us. That's always good. And then we also see where we're at with saving categories such as paying down our mortgage early or putting more money into retirement. Those things for us are very rewarding. We also are saving for a vacation this summer and seeing that money grow and knowing where we need to be able to take our kids on a really special vacation is really rewarding for us. The other thing, sometimes we budget in strange places. If we're going to go on a little road trip and we know we're going to be in the car for an hour or more, we a lot of times will bring our computer and we will talk finances in the car. And one of us will be entering the numbers, discussing things, checking on things. And we get that done where we are going to be in the car anyway. You might as well be productive as you go. So we enjoy our budgeting. We're 3 years into it. We have 3 years of documentation, and I don't see us changing anytime soon. And the sixth reason I feel that budgeting has been successful for us is that we took a hard look in the beginning about our expenses, especially after we decided to buy a house. So both of us looked at the income that we had. I've watched other YouTubers talking about budgeting, and a lot of people talk about income not being the most important thing. And granted, there is value in that, but for us, making more money was the only option. When you have a total of 6 kids between the two of you, you have things to provide for those children. You have goals of being able to spend time with each other and to have a retirement, be able to retire with dignity and spend as much time enjoying your life as you can. You can't just do that when you're barely making your budget needs met. So in the very beginning of our marriage, my husband, for example, who was satisfied with his job, decided he was going to look to see if there was anything better out there. And he actually found a better paying job, not only in his base salary, but also with his retirement benefits, which was huge. There are so many more opportunities with this new company that gives him the opportunity to earn more towards retirement faster, that we've been able to make huge gains in a short period of time. For me, I also needed to look at what I was earning. And so I decided that after being away from the service industry for a few years, that I was going to get back into it. I found a wonderful job that I love the atmosphere, I love the guests, I love my coworkers, and it's a fairly decent paying job. There are some lower days and some higher days, but for me, it works great with our schedule. It works great with our lives. So I went back into that type of job. And then both of us found opportunities with side hustles to help surplus the things that we want to do. Those side hustles get entered in and we see progress being made. It's not always easy, and sometimes we are working long hours, but the rewards are definitely worth it. Finally, I feel that I'm successful with budgeting, and I know a lot of that comes from the marriage that I have, the partner that I have, the teammate that I have with my husband. And I watch all the time and I hear all the time about couples who don't see eye to eye with finances, who separate their finances, who do mine and yours and things like that. And I really hope that you'll take some time to see the value and the benefit from working together as a team and looking at all the information, looking at the future. So you don't have to be fearful that you're not making the goals that you need. You don't need to be fearful and be able to have some fun money and spending some things on what you want. If you are newer to budgeting, if you don't know where to start, there are so many resources out there. I'm going to be sharing with you how our family budgets, how we do decide on that fun money, how we are working towards the future with our retirement, our mortgage, and this personal goals that I have already set up for myself. So stay tuned for more videos on similar topics. If you want to look at how I got out of debt, really for the second time, you can check out this video here. I also have a video about my 3 major big goals, and you can check out that video as well. Thank you for joining me. I hope you can take a moment to like and subscribe. This channel is about my experiences as a 50-year-old living in the Midwest in a blended family. We have a total of 6 children between the two of us, and we are finally making great strides. And I think that you can too. So stick with me. And if you have any questions, if you have any things that you would like us to share, I'd be happy to look into making some future videos about your ideas as well. Have a wonderful day.